So what I see today is we, the humanity, our civilization, in the past couple of hundreds of years of progress, we created this a super efficient system using technology as a tool to increase productivity, increase wealth, make more money. And it's essentially driven by greed. And we can't stop it. In fact, when you think about just humanity and technology without any concern for any kind of values or ethics, I will argue that we may get into a state where it is a complete insanity. Look at what's happening on Wall Street today. We may not see inflation in consumer price, but I see tremendous amount of inflation in our stock price. There's way too much toxic assets in the stock price being reflected, and there's no stopping it. The government is addicted to printing money to the point where they can't stop it. The system just keeps going. So we have to find ways to stop this. There's got to be some kind of kill switch. Otherwise, our own greed, our own human nature will continue to drive this insanity. So back in 2013, I am a burner. I go to Burning Man regularly. And I decided to create my own Burning Man camp. Now, how many of you been to Burning Man? Can you raise your hands? Oh, wow. Nobody. Okay. Okay. One person. Okay. Two. 7 times. So Burning Man is essentially a quasi-festival. It takes place in the middle of nowhere in a desert in Nevada. And one of the key things during that time is there is no money being used. Everything has to be bartered. And everything that you bring to the desert, you have to take out. And people come to express their artistic flares, and people party, they celebrate life. And it's been going on for past 30 years or so. And I started with about 17 people in year 2013. And because you can't spend money, when you build this camp, because you got to bring everything, and you got to feed all these people, everything has to be done by volunteers. And second year, I ended up growing that to about 45. Third year, I grew that to 70. Fourth year, 100. And then last year, I had up to 140 people in my camp. And I have a massive infrastructure that I built purely based on the contribution by volunteers. And I learned a valuable lesson in terms of how to create a community purely based on volunteerism, not based on money. And let me show you this video. So that's my Camp Siberia. Again, there's no money. We cannot spend money. We cannot bring money. There's nothing to buy. Everything has to be exchanged. Each year, there's roughly about 70,000 people show up and spend about 7 days on the planet. So in 5 years, I grew the community from 0 to roughly about 800 people around the world. They don't get paid, I don't pay them. They pay a little bit of money so that they could come to my camp, and we celebrate life for about 7 days each year. And because it is so difficult to build the infrastructure for those 7 days to feed and bring water to these 140 people, I learned that when you try to build community, the essential, the requirement for a leader is selflessness. If you pursue your own self-interest, it just doesn't work. You have to go for the common good. And that's why the theme of my camp is called Love and Care for Each Other. Yeah, it's a little corny, but it works. People relate to this common good that really benefits everybody, not just one person or just a small group of factions or super elites, but everybody in the community. So when we designed a certain system, for example, Mind, we decided to decentralize our ecosystem. And the essential concept that we use is we add this new element called spirituality, or let's say ethics, or certain code of conduct. And in order for, let's say, humanity to access technology, there is no direct access. It must go through the code of conduct. It has to go through spirituality. It must go through something that is higher than yourself, something that is better than yourself, that promotes the common good. So within our ecosystem, we created this concept called kill switch, and every, let's say, ontological information is put on blockchain immutably. That is essentially separate from our reasoning engine. And then the interaction between the two is actually guided by a certain code of conduct. And that's how we control the certain behaviors of our AI system. So there you have it. I know it's a very simple concept, but I think it's important to think about these issues when we design certain AI system. Thank you.